Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa the Geek, where I am about to fight a kill team battle between my Adepta Sororitas and Harris's Harlequins. So the story that we've got going on here is that this is a former Shrineworld that had been lost to the ages, and the Adepta Sororitas were sent in to reconsecrate this planet. And when they arrived, they found that the Harlequins had been using this place for some kind of performance of their own machinations that is unknowable to us monkey, that we would never understand their actions or what their play is. Space Wicked is what it is. Just completely unknowable to us. So they have been performing here, and the sisters were sent in to go clear them out and reconsecrate this ground in the name of the Emperor. So we are going to be playing the consecration mission here from the main rulebook. There are 5 objectives on the table, 4 along the different dividing lines and 1 in the center, and we each have 2 deployment zones basically on each of the corners there. And what happens here is for this mission, you can do an action which allows you to consecrate an objective, and essentially you can consecrate an objective. Each objective can only be consecrated once per turning point, and it gives you an additional APL, it gives you an additional defense, and it gives you an additional attack if you do so. It also, at the end of each turning point, you score points. You score a point for each consecrated objective that you control at the end of each of the turning point there, to a maximum of 4 points per turn. So essentially, we're just going around trying to consecrate these objectives and hold the objectives to score the points there. We will also each have our 3 secondary objectives that we've chosen from that will be revealed at different points throughout the game, depending upon when they are told to be revealed. So either at a reveal target step, or when a certain action is handled, or at the end of a turning point, depending upon what it is. Each of the secondary objectives will tell you when you reveal it and the points that you score from those. Each of those can only score a maximum of 2 points per secondary objective. So that is the story. That is the mission. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 kill teams that are going to be fighting it out. So for my Adepta Sororitas kill team, I have 1 Repentia Superior and 9 Sister Repentia. And for the Harlequin kill team, he has a troop leader, 2 troop gunners, and 5 troop players. All right, so those are the kill teams going over deployment. I have 3 of my Repentia over here, 2 of my Repentia over here, 2 more Repentia over here, and then I have my Repentia Superior and 2 other Repentia on this side. Going over my opponent here, he's got, is that a gunner on the side? Yes. There? Okay, we've got gunner, we have the player, and then the leader. We have another player over here. This is a player. Where's the other gunner? Is he up on the roof? Up on the roof over here is going to be the other gunner, and the others are going to be players. So that is going to be the deployment. We are now going to do the scouting step, which will allow us to do different actions. It will also allow us to determine who will have initiative going into turn 1. So essentially the way it works is a rock, paper, scissors system. So if you choose, we've each secretly chosen something. We've got dice in our hand to reveal it. We reveal it at the same time. If you chose number 1, which is fortify, you can set up another barricade because we each set up 2 barricades. We can set up another one if we wish. If you choose 2, then once during the turning point, when you select a ready friendly operative to activate, you can change their activation token, because you had to put activation tokens on each of these when you deployed them. Or if you choose 3, you choose recon, which allows you to take a free dash at the beginning of the turn, or before the first turn, to allow you to reposition a little bit or get further up the board, however you want to do. And the way it works is rock, paper, scissors. So if you chose 1, you would beat out number 2. If you chose 2, you beat out number 3, and if you chose 3, you beat out number 1. So that is what we have here. So now we are going to reveal 1, 2, 3 I chose 3. My opponent chose 3. He chose D3. I chose the actual number 3. It works out each way. So we both will be doing recon. My opponent is the attacker, so he will have the initiative. So we will go do our dashes, and then we will come back to you after the with the first activation, or we'll come back to you with the first turning point. Alrighty, so we are now into the strategy step of the first turning point here. We both gained a CP. We started with 2 CP because we both had leaders. We then both gained a CP. We then played our strategic ploys. I spend 1 CP on Divine Shield, which allows me, if I'm being shot at, I can, if I retain a critical save, I can reroll one of my failed saves. And my opponent spent 1 on Rising Crescendo, which gives them an additional, what is it? Additional triangle on move and dash, which is pretty good. Move, dash, and charge. So it gives him an additional 1 inch on all of his different movement types that he can do, which is pretty good. We then got to the reveal target step. My opponent did not reveal any of his, but I did reveal mine. I revealed challenge. So essentially what it means is I choose an operative and one of his operatives, and I select 1 enemy operative and 1 friendly operative. If that enemy operative is incapacitated by that friendly operative, you score 1 VP. If you achieve the first condition while that enemy operative is within red of that friendly operative, you score 1 VP. So I chose my sister Repentia over here, and then I chose his gunner over there. So we'll see how that all plays out. So that is going to be it for the strategy step. We'll come back to you with the firefight step. All right, so here's how this is going to go. My opponent activated his 1 guy that he had over here. He's the guy that he used the dash on to move up over here. He then moved and dashed with the Rising Crescendo and was able to get all the way over here with all of his movement. So basically he had, from his very edge of his deployment zone, he had his full move plus 2 dashes plus additional 2 blacks because of Rising Crescendo, and he was able to get over here within triangle of the table edge over on this side, and because he had fly, he could ignore all the terrain coming through, although I think he still could have made it without having to worry about it anyway, but he just went straight across over here, and then each of the Harlequins have 3 APL. So his 3rd AP that he spent was on Interlope. So he reveals this, after selecting this TAC op, secretly select 1 friendly operative to be your interloper. You must reveal this TAC op when your interloper performs the interlope action. Remove the interloper from the kill zone and score 2 VPs. Your interloper can perform this following mission action once. Perform this action whilst within a triangle of an enemy kill zone edge and more than blue from the enemy operatives, and he managed to do that over here. Spent it. He's taken away. He scores 2 VP. So a pretty effective first activation there for the Harlequins. This operative over here moved from here and then consecrated that objective there. My opponent's operative he chose over here moved over this way and then consecrated that objective there. My operative over here moved up and then consecrated that objective. All right, so my opponent moved from back over there up onto the objective here, and then he is going to shoot into me over here, because even though I'm concealed, he can still get a clear line of sight without me being in cover over here. So his attacks here, this is with a fusion pistol, hitting on 3s. 2s. Hitting on 2s. Alrighty.
You know what, we'll command point that.
Gonna spend a CP to reroll that. Okay, that's gonna be 3 that are gonna go through there.
Everything hits.
Everything hits, but what's the critical?
On a 6.
On a 6, so it's just the critical he's got there. So it's going to be 3 mortal wounds to me already, because that's what the fusion pistol does. Yep. So it's AP minus 2, which the sister Repentia usually have a save characteristic of 3, or a defense characteristic of 3, and a save of 6+. But because I consecrated that objective, my defense goes up 1, so it goes to defense 4, down to 2 because of that crit, because of the AP. So now I've got 2 defense dice looking for 6+. Getting neither of those. That's going to be a lot of wounds coming in here. I'm fishing for 6s. That's not even going to work there. All right, so the damage that's going into me here, the crit does 3 damage plus the 3 mortal wounds.
Correct. And then the normal 3 do 5 damage each.
And the normal do 5 damage each. So it's going to be 15 plus 6 is going to be 21 damage. I've got to feel no pain on Sister Repentia, so we'll come back to you with that. All right, so I have 21 5 plus feel no pains here. Let's see how this goes. No, not even close to enough there. Not bad. That's actually really not bad, but not enough because I only have 7 wounds. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I took 12 damage. She is definitely out of action. He then used his dash to get back over to there. So now my sister Repentia, Repentia Superior over here, is going to use her special action, which is Whip into Fury, which is 1 AP, allows her to give her plus 1 APL, also gives her an additional circle on her movement there. Then my sister Superior is going to move up to here, so just within range of that objective there. Already measured it out, so I just wanted to show you what happened there. All right, so his player here just charged into me over here. Rising Crescendo gave him an extra circle, and Fly allows him to just go basically just go up and over there without having to worry about it because you don't have to take into account the thing there. So his second APL is going to be to fight me. So he's going to now do that. So now we roll our dice. We both have 5 attacks each, both looking for 3 pluses.
Mine are the little ones.
Ooh, these are the little ones. That was a 5. The Neural Whip that I have, 5s are actually crits here. So how many wounds do you have? 1 second, we're going to come back to it. Alrighty, so here we go. So my opponent is going to inflict his... he has to choose first because he did the charge and activated there with the fight. So he's going to activate, he's going to strike at me with his critical, which would normally do 7 damage to me. But I'm going to spend 1 CP on Divine Intervention, which means that that attack does 0 damage to me, which is huge. Huge there for 1 CP. Literally life and death, because his original plan was going to be strike me with that, and then spend 1 on Murderous Entrance, 1 CP on Murderous Entrance to strike another with the regular one, which would have been enough to just kill me outright before anything happened. So that meant it that I could save myself. So then it comes to my turn here, and I am going to parry one of his regular with my regular there. Okay. And then it goes to my opponent here.
So I'm going to implant you.
Okay, my opponent is going to implant me, which is one of the whatchamacallit, the tac ops here. So you reveal this tac op when you would strike an enemy operative in combat. Instead of inflicting damage on an enemy operative from the strike, you can implant that operative instead. The operative does not lose any wounds from the strike, and you score 1 VP. So my opponent scored 1 VP for that one, which is pretty good. I'm then going to parry his last one there. And then he will hit him for 3 with that crit there. So he will take 3 damage and lose an APL because of stun, which he had 1 more APL that he could have used to try to get away from me there, but now he is going to be stuck in combat with me there. All right, and then I'm going to activate my operative here to just move on to the objective there, looking to make sure I can control that. And then his operative over here moved on to the objective and consecrated it. This operative over here is going to move and consecrate on there. Now my opponent has activated his operative that was up there, moving down over here and charging into me, I should say, into my Repentia over here. So now we are going to roll our attack dice. I'm looking for 4 pluses.
4 pluses.
Okay. So I have Scourging Barbs, which means that I can reroll one of my attack dice. It's one of the equipment that I gave them, some of them. It allows me to reroll an attack dice, but if I roll a 1 or a 2, it means that I will suffer a mortal wound, but it does mean I get to do a reroll. Of course, I take the mortal wound there, but we still have this. It's also a brutal weapon, which means that he can't parry with anything that is not a critical hit here. So we'll come back to you with the once we figure out what we're doing. All right, so my opponent can't parry with anything that's not a critical because it's a brutal weapon that I have there. It also has Reap 2, but that doesn't matter because there's no one else in range over there. So my opponent's first activation, first die that he's going to use is going to strike me with a regular attack, which would do 5 damage. They have a 5-up Feel No Pain. So she ignores 2 of them, takes 3 damage, which puts her down to 3 now because she took the 1 mortal wound from the reroll, from the barb. And then I think I'm going to strike you as well with the crit, which does 6 damage to you. Drops them down to 2 over there. Then you can make your choice. Hit me again for 5 more. So I need to make I only have 3 wounds left, so I need to make 3 of these for her to survive. 5 pluses. Nope, not making any of them, so she is out of action. This objective, this operative, moved and advanced, or moved and dashed up onto the objective over here. All right, so now he's operated over here, moved over here onto the objective, and is now going to shoot into my sister Repentia over here. He's got a shuriken pistol, so he's going to fire here, looking for 3s to hit. Alrighty. Does get a crit. It does have rend. What is it? Rend.
It's just rending. So.
But rend what? It should say rend something. I think. 1 second. All right. So what rending does? I got it confused with. I think it's penetration, which is like basically does AP on crits. But because he got the crit, he turned one of his regular ones into a crit. So he got 2 crits and a regular. Her defense is a defense of 3, looking for 6+ saves. Nope, not getting any of them there. So that would be, how much was the damage on these?
4 on the crits, 3 on the normal.
4 on the crits, 3 on the normal. So that would be 11 damage. I'm going to spend my last AP fishing for this fill face. Come on, show me that fill face. No, nothing there. So that's going to be 11 total damage coming at me over here. I now have 5 up, feel no pains. I need to make 5 of these, because 4 would kill me still. So I need 5 pluses. Getting 1, 2, only 3. So she will be dead. All right, so now my operative over here charged into his wounded player on this side over here. We are now going to attack. I've got 4 dice looking for 4 pluses. My opponent has 5 attacks looking for 4 pluses. Yeah, you're just going to dead because I'm just going to activate that and take him out. And when I do so, I actually score Rob and Ransack. So it's essentially, it says you can reveal this attack up when an enemy operative is incapacitated by a friendly operative within a triangle of it, and that friendly operative is more than square from any other enemy operative. Focus over here. It doesn't make a difference. But I score 1 VP for doing so. And then if they're still alive at the end of the game, I will score another VP. So now his operative over here charged into my Repentia superior. So now he is going to fight me. So we're going to roll our attack dice. All right, looking for 3s. So that's going to be 2 crits on my end. You got a crit and 2 regular attacks, and I got 2 crits and a regular attack here. So we'll come back to you when we give this some thought. My opponent is going to spend 1 CP to strike with his crit, and then do murderous entrance to just do 11 damage onto my sister, my Repentia superior over here, killing her outright. And then he has 1 APL left that he is going to use to attack into my sister over here. So looking for 4 attacks, looking for 3s to hit.
Critting on 5s.
Critting on 5s because it's lethal 5+. All right, so you got 2 crits and a hit. I'm looking. It's AP1, so it's going to be down to 2 dice here. Looking for fill faces. Getting double fill faces. Woo! All right, so my Shield of Faith, the tactical ploy, would allow me to reroll a failed save here, but I didn't have any failed saves here. So these 2 crits will cancel out his 2 crits. So what's the damage on this?
4 damage.
4 damage here. So she does have 5 up, ignoring wounds. Ignores 1 of them, so I take 3 damage down to 4. All right, so now my sister over here, the one that got whipped in the beginning there, is going to charge into them both here. I'm going to put my attacks into the model here. So Reaping will now come into effect because of they are within triangle of each other. So here we go. Looking for 4s to hit. Getting 3. 1 second. And then we'll see. All right, so I don't get any crits, but this 1 attack does 5 damage. So when I activate it, he is dead. So now my opponent is going to Overwatch with him over here into my Repentia. So he has 4 shots. It's -1 to hit. So I imagine you're going to be hitting on 4s here. So looking for 4s. This is just a shuriken pistol?
Yep.
So looking for 4s. Oh,
off the table.
1 die off the table there. Okay, that's going to be 2 hits. I'm now going to roll no AP on this, so looking for 6s, fill faces on 3 dice. Not getting any of them there. Oops, sorry. So that's going to be 6 damage total. So I Needed some more dice for the 5-up feel no pains. I ignore 2 of them, so I take 4 damage down to 3. My next move was to move my move and dash my Repentia up onto the objective over here. My opponent's now out of range, so he can't do another Overwatch with anybody. And then my last activation will be for her to move and dash up to there behind that wall. And that will be the end of the turning point here. So at the end of the turning point, I control this because I have a total of 4 APL on here to his 3 APL. Over here, I got 1 extra APL for being whipped, and he is 3 APL. I know, it sounds funny, but that's exactly what happened. So she will manage to tie him for that, so no one controls that objective. I do control this objective, and my opponent does control the middle objective and that objective. I thought about trying to jump onto this objective over here, but I wasn't going to be able to get enough unless I put 2 on there. So it was either this one or that one, and I think I'd rather play it safe on this side over here. So that is going to be the end of there. So we both score 2 points additional there. So at the end of the first turning point, my opponent has 5 points and I have 3 points. So we are now going to roll off to see who will have the initiative going into turn number 2. I rolled a 1, my opponent rolled a 6, so it'll definitely be to the Harlequins here on turning point number 2. So in the strategy step of the second turning point here, we both gained a CP. Neither of us spent any CP on strategic ploys, and neither of us had any tac ops to reveal. So we are going to move into the firefight step. All right, so we're going to start over here with this guy. He is going to activate and shoot into my sister Repentia in the back over here with his shuriken pistol. So he's going to be looking for 3s to hit. That is going to be 2 hits. I have 3 dice here looking to saves with 6s. No 6s there.
6 damage total.
So it's going to be 6 damage total. So I need to make 4, 5 plus feel no pains, or she is dead because I've only got 3 wounds left. No, make none of them. So she is way dead. And then his next next AP is going to be to charge, and then his third APL will be to fight me over here. So he's going to be looking for 3s. I'm looking for 4s.
Alrighty.
All right. So I got a crit and 2 regular, and my opponent got all regular attacks over here. So we'll come back to you after we give this some thought. Alrighty, so my opponent's first attack here is actually going to be to implant me. To get it along there, he needs 1 more after that to get the second victory point from that tac op there. I'm then going to strike with my crit here. He can't parry with any of his because of brutal being a weapon, so he can't do that. So I'm going to strike with my crit here, doing 6 damage to him. He then said he is going to strike me with that next one, doing 3 damage, and I will strike here, incapacitating him. I then have to roll 3, looking for 5 ups to ignore wounds onto her over there. I ignore 2 of them, so I take 1 damage. My operative from over here charged into his leader over there. I am now going to attack. I've got 4 attacks here hitting on 4s. My opponent has 5 attacks hitting on 3s. All right, so I got 3 hits here. Also got 3 hits here. So let's see what I'm going to do. I think you do, what is it, 5 damage on each of those? Because none of them are crits. You cannot parry on anything that is not a crit, so you can't parry any of mine. So I think what I'm going to do, you have how many wounds? 1 second, we'll get this one. All right, so the way it's going to work here is I'm going to strike at him here, doing 5 damage. My opponent's going to spend 1 of his to implant me there, which gives him the 3 that he needed to score the second point on his tac op there. And then I am going to finish him off there with that. But he does get an additional CP, right, when he dies because of, what was it?
Masque.
Because of Death Masque over there. So he gets an additional CP, which is pretty good. I also have to reveal now my tac op here, Focus Headhunter. So it's reveal this when the enemy leader is incapacitated, score 1 VP. If it is the first or second turning point, it is the second turning point, you score 1 VP. So I scored 2 VP for that. And now my opponent is going to activate his gunner over here into my Repentia here. So he's got the caress as well. Oh no, I get nothing.
Critting 2 hits.
I am critting 2 hits. I'm going to spend my buddy. 1 second. All right, so the Scourging Barb that she has, because I gave it to her, the two that had the hoods and then the one that had the dangly bits. I think most of the other ones are dead at this point, but so she gets to reroll one of her attack dice into a crit, which is pretty good there. So we now go into the allocate step. So my opponent's going to allocate his crit. I'm going to spend 1 CP on divine Okay, so my opponent's actually going to parry my crit there, because you can only parry the brutal weapons with crits. So he's going to parry the crit, and it says nothing about being able to parry crits with that. So he's going to parry my crit. He's then going to have 2 that go through into me over here. These are going to do 10 damage. I'm going to spend my 1 CP for divine intervention here to ignore the damage for that one. And then this is going to do 5 damage to me over here. So this is going to be looking for 5 ups. I need to make 2 of these for her to survive. So, looking for 5 ups. Come on, baby, you can do it. No, just the 1, so she is still dead. Waste of CP. Ugh. And then to finish up over here, he is going to move and then consecrate that objective. All right, so then my operative that was on the other side of this wall here charged through that door into his operative over here, and then we are going to fight. So here we go. Wow, again. Oh, buddy, and she does not have that, so I don't get to reroll anything. So what do you got? What damage are you doing to me here?
7, 10, 13.
13 damage. Oof. All right, because of that, I am now going to have 13 wounds onto me over here. I need to make 7 5+s for her to survive. No, not enough. I think I made, what is that? I made close. I made 6, and there's nothing I can do about that. I can't even re-roll it anyway because it's not one of those. It's a feel no pain. Oof. But yeah, so she is exactly dead with that 4 damage there. So over here, his operative that I had failed when I charged in over here, consecrated that objective, then charged into my operative over here, and now is going to attack with his 3rd AP. So he has +1 attack because he consecrated that over there. So he's looking for 3s, and I'm looking for 4s. All right, so at least I got a couple hits over here.
And we're just going to go ahead and murderous entrance.
And my opponent's going to spend 1 CP on murderous entrance, which will kill me. So straight up dead. All right, so I actually forgot that I have the feel no pain here. So my opponent did 10 damage with his murderous entrance that he did there. So I have 5 up, ignoring wounds. Oh, did pretty well there. Oh, did really well there. I managed to make 6. So she only takes 4. So she is still alive. All right. So I am then going to strike with my attack there. My opponent is going to strike with his, because he can't parry with anything that's not a crit. So I now have 3 damage to me because of that. This is going to be looking for, I'm going to be looking for 5 up, ignoring wounds. I have 2 left, so I need to make 2 out of these 3 for her to survive. And I do! Woo! And then because of that, I will strike with my last one, incapacitating his guy there. All right, my operative over here is just going to consecrate and stay in conceal over there with cover. And then his operative over here, that was over here, consecrated the objective there, then charged into me over here and is now going to attack. So let's see how this one goes. And I get
Crit
2 hits,
17.
no crits, so you're going to do 7 and 4 hits. So I got 2 regular hits over here. We'll come back to you with that. All right, so my opponent is going to strike with his crit over there, doing 7 damage. I need to make all 7 feel no pains for her to live. I don't think it's going to happen, but faith in the Emperor. The Emperor says, maybe. No, the Emperor says no. She's definitely incapacitated. And my last activation will be with my operative over here, moving over to here. And I'm going to spend, and I'm just going to consecrate the objective there. So, the end of the turning point here. I control 1 objective. My opponent controls 1 objective. And then over here, I'm actually just out. But even if I think I was in, I think I still would have been. Because you have more APL, so you would have held that. So, you scored 2 points to there, and I scored 1 point. So, I think the score is now going to be 8 to 6. So I'm down by 2 points at this point. So let's see what happens for this initiative. I rolled a 1 and my opponent rolled a 6 again. So it will be Harlequin's turn here on turning point number 3. Welcome back to you at the strategy phase. All right, so we both gained ACP. Neither of us is going to spend any CP on strategic ploys, and neither of us has any tac ops to reveal here. So now we're going to go into the firefight step here, and my opponent's going to activate his operative over here first, who's going to first shoot into my operative over here. So 4 shots hitting on 3s.
That's 3 crits.
All right, so 3 crits so far. Is there AP on this?
AP1.
There is AP1 on this. So she is going. I'm only going to have 2 dice here. Got 3 crits and a regular save there. Oof. Okay. I'm going to try to roll because I am receiving cover here. I could retain 1 for free, but that's going to be a regular that I think it's probably better to fish for crits on here. So looking for 6s. Fill faces? No, neither of those goes. So that is going to be 4 damage per.
5 per.
Oh, 5 per on the
crits.
5 per on the crits. So that's gonna be. We'll come back to you with this 1 second. So that's gonna be 19 damage into her over there. 5 up, ignoring wounds. No, not even close to enough. She is definitely out of action. All right, so now my turn to activate my last operative that's left on the table here. She's going to move up here and consecrate that objective. And then his operative over here is going to activate, consecrate that objective, charge, and now we are going to fight. So you get +1 attack because you consecrated. And then I am going to have my 4 attacks with the Eviscerator. So these are now, I'm looking for 4s, you're looking for 3s. All right, so I got 2 hits over here.
I got a hit and a crit.
My opponent got a hit and a crit over there.
So I'll spend the CP.
I'm going to spend the CP to go and just murderous entrance. So hit and a crit for how much damage is that going to be?
10 damage total.
10 damage total. Let's see if she can survive. All right, so it's going to be 10 damage into her. She has still has the 7 wounds left, so I need to make 4 of these for her to survive. And I made 1, 2, 3. Of course, that's the way it ends there with her just getting mapped. And then he's going to capture hostage and infiltrate, which means that you reveal this after you've killed an operative, and then you just leave the table with the operative. You score 2 VP for having done so there. So that is going to be it, and that's the end of the game because they've got no more operatives on the table here. So a resounding victory for the Harlequins. At the beginning of the first turning point, I felt pretty bad. I was like, this is not going well. I was losing operatives really fast, but then I managed to pick it back up and do some serious damage there. Made some really seriously awesome feel no pain rolls and got myself back into the game. That one Repentia that just would not go down and just like took him down was chef's kiss. That was pretty awesome. I'll do that. I'll take that any day. So, but yeah, so I managed to. I think it was a good game. It was a ton of fun. Really brutal. I made some tactical errors. I think I probably should have tried to kill this Harlequin, this operative over here with mine that I was engaged with, because that would have gotten me VP. And I think you need to keep remembering that sticking those VP is important to try to win this game. And that's what my opponent did. He got all of his tac ops. I only got max on all of his. I think I got what was it, like 1 or 2? Yeah. I think I didn't get quite as many as I could have. So a brutal game, but a ton of fun nonetheless. So it came down to the 1 model, because that's all. 1 model left on the table between the 2 of us. So between you had 8. So between the 18 models that we started with, but at the end of turning point 3, we have 1 model left, a single model left on the turning table. So a ton of fun, very brutal. There is blood and guts everywhere. And a ton of fun. So, yes, and scene. The Harlequins have finished their play. So, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Harris. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.